can choose items from the annual catalog or the mini catalog. You could choose a $225 worth of product for $135. Now, if you're interested in that, or if you would like a catalog, a mini catalog with a celebration, let me know. I will pop it in the mail. I'm hitting the post office today, so I can get those out to you. So comment below if you are ready to make some items today. Now they're very, it's not a card, it's not a box. So if you know me, I love scrapbooking and I love smash booking, which means I just make little books and I put little things in there. They are fantastic. I just love them. I wanted to show off some of the great Christmas cards I got. Thank you very much to those that sent those in. This is from Kim. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And from my good friend Carol. She sent that to me. There we go. Check that out. I just love that little deer in the middle there. Fantastic. What else have we got here? This one is from Dory. Love that. I love this color and the embossing folder that she did. Okay, and this one is from my good friend Elfrida. Check that out. Ooh, my goodness, I think they all came at the same time. Actually, no, what I did is I kind of hoard them all for the week, and then I open them all at once. And this is from my good friend Liz, and I just love this one. This one's very very well done. I love how that is done with, I believe she did that with the Stamparatus there. Just love it. And this one is from Debbie. Check this out. It's a fancy fold card. Check that out. Oh my goodness. I just love that. Just love that. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is we are going to get ready, because this is a very kind of an in-depth project, more like this may take some time, but hopefully you have all the supplies ready. And I'm going to go over what you're going to need, and we're going to go step by step. Okay, so I'm going to put you up on the camera mount, and let's take a look for that. All right, so if you kind of get queasy, I'm going to try this very carefully to move it so it doesn't, you don't get too, I guess, freaked out. But there we go. Let's get that up on the camera mount. Oh good, that went really well. Okay, so as I said, my name is Tina Kavrigich. Oh, I'm crooked, or you're crooked, or somebody's crooked. Oh, we're really crooked. And I am Northern Stamper. Let's try and get that straight. There we go, Northern Stamper. And if you need to reach me for anything, please drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com. Okay, so what we're going to do today, in the listing there were 12 by 12 sheets. Okay, so you don't, I had listed 3 12 by 12 sheets, and what you're going to do is cut them actually in half, so they end up to be 6 inches high by 12 inches long. Okay, oh that was Liz was crooked. Okay, so you're going to end up with some of those. Now you can do 6 or 3 or 2. I've chosen some of the poinsettia paper, and I've got 2 of each. Okay, so you take those 2 by 2 sheet, 12 by 12 sheets, and just cut them in half. Okay, so I have that. That's some of the items that you're going to need. You are going to need a couple of more 6 by 12 sheets. Okay, so this is another one. This is 6 by 12. I just cut it in half, and I've marked this. This is going to be for our cover, so I know that I'm going to be using this. So just make sure that those are set aside for you. Okay, so this is going to be for my cover. All right, and these are, this is another 12 by 6. This is the outside cover. Just if you mark those kind of off, you'll understand as we go along. Okay, and we do have 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay, and we are going to be actually cutting these down. So let's get our trimmer and cut these down, because this is the first thing we need to cut. To cut and to score. So I'm going to get my trimmer, and I'm going to take these, and I am going to cut them at 6.5 high by 6.5 wide. So there we go. So I'm going to take out that arm. So 6.5. I did a portrait and there's one. I like to do things all at the same time, so I'm going to do the exact same one. 6.5. Okay, we're going to cut that again. And now I'm going to turn it, and we're going to cut it at 6.5 again. Okay, so it ends up to be kind of like a square. Oh, kind of like it is a square. So 6.5 by 6.5, and you need 2 of these. All right. So we got that going. Right. And I'm just going to keep those other pieces for later, for maybe for something else, for decorating. Okay. So I got the 2 pieces of cardstock. Now they're both 6.5 by 6.5. I'm going to be doing all of my work now from the scoreboard. Or if you don't have a scoreboard, that's okay. You can use your trimmer with the scoring tool in it, or however you score. All right. So I'm going to take these 2 pieces, and I am going to score it at, oh, let me just double check. I want to make sure I double check and do this. And we're going to score it at, where's my sample? I want to make sure I give you the right number. Okay. We are going to score at 1/2 inch. So I have it in here on my scoreboard, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to mark it at 1/2 inch and score. Okay. Got one at 1/2 inch. I'm going to take the second one, the exact same thing. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch. Now what we are creating is actually a book. This is going to be quite interesting. So we got both pieces. I'm going to fold this and burnish it. And what's going to happen is we're going to glue these 2 pieces together. Now I'm going to use tear and tape because it is thin enough, and it kind of goes like right along the spine of this book that we're creating. And those 2 small flaps are going to go in on each other. So I'm going to place the tear and tape on the spine. Okay, there we go. And I'm actually going to try and get 2 on. Let's get this off. So I have the tear and tape exposed. And what I'm going to do is take the second one, and we're going to create the spine of the book. So I want to make sure that I've lined it up and it sits on. So there we go. You can kind of see, you can see the book. This is how it's coming in. Okay. There we go. So our book is kind of put together already. There we go. We got the spine on both sides. Now when you hold the book and you have the part where you place it together, you want that at the back. So I can see the 2 places that overlap. They're going to be the back of the book. Okay. So I have this right now. This is all we need at the moment. We're going to go move on to our 12 by 12 sheets, or 6 by 12 sheets. All right. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. I just don't want to take off too quickly for you, because this is a little bit, you know, a little bit in depth. So I wanted to make sure that I don't lose you anywhere along the way. So I'm going to take the pieces of 12 by 6 that these are going to be the inside pages of our book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be scoring, or you know what, even easy enough, you can take your sheet of 6 by 12 and just fold it in half, okay? Because we know that that's going to be the 6-inch mark. Okay, it's up to you. You can either score it or fold it. And we're going to do that for all of these. And I'm actually going to use the pattern paper on the outside for my sheets. So I'm just going to fold these in half so that they are scored at the 6-inch mark. Okay, let's move this one off to the side as we do this. Okay, and what we will be doing is we will be going back and we will score these on the edges again. So I just find it easier doing this all at once. Okay, so I got them. Now they are in half, they are 6 by 6. But what we want to do is we want to make some flaps that this can sit in our book. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to score at 1 inch. So I'm going to look for the 1 inch mark and I'm going to score it. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over, score at the 1 inch mark again. And I'm going to do that for all of the papers that I have in there. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to pick these up and score at 1 inch. Okay, turn it and score at 1 inch. This is pretty simple, this part. Turning it. There we go. Has everybody got ready for Christmas yet? I went out to the Costco there and I thought it was like a total zoo. I thought I will never go to Costco again. The week of Christmas, my goodness, that was crazy. Anyways, okay, so I have those now all done. Okay, they're all scored in the middle at 6 inches and on the ends at 1 inch. So if I fold them up, I'm going to fold these little 1 inch flaps back on itself. And I'm going to do that for all of the pages. So we fold it back on itself. Okay. Back on itself. And one more. Okay. There we go. Now, these are going to become the inside pages of our book. And I want to do alternating. So I'm going to place them kind of alternating DSPs. And you see how they kind of go together. All right, they should all be the same height and the same width. Okay, so there we go. Back and forth, back and forth. There we go. What I'm going to do now, I'm not going to glue this top one, and I'm not going to glue this bottom one, but the ones in between, I will be gluing. So let's get some good, strong adhesive on there. I'm going to use my Seal Plus. I'm just going to run it down, take my other piece, and make sure that it is on top and it's straight, and I'm going to press it together. So now we're putting our pages together. And this is actually going to become part of a game I'm going to have the family participate in. Okay? Yeah, they're going to love this. But it is actually more like for a memory, kind of like a memory book for them later that they can have. There we go. So we have them all together. So when you have them all, they kind of like, there we go. Let's make sure. Oh, this one's kind of off a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So we got them all glued together, right? Now you're wondering, what are we going to do with this? If we just place this in our book and glue it down, what happens is when we open our book, it kind of goes off a little bit. It won't open nicely. So what we're going to do is just take this we're just going to fold it back on itself, right? We're going to add some tear and tape along this part that we folded, and that's going to fold over onto the spine. Or you could just go like this. Okay? So we're going to create a spine on the back. So let's make sure it is nice and set. Okay, so I'm going to make a little spine, and that's going to fit in this spine here where we're going to add the adhesive. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. Again, I'm going to make this side a little smaller so it tucks underneath. Okay, this is going to be a little tighter to do, but that's okay. Let's go back, fold it, and fold it again, and it's going to tuck underneath. Okay. So I'm basically creating a spine of the book. So we can see that these two now flap onto itself. Okay, and what I'm going to do is run some tape along here so these two pieces will hold together. Okay, guess the tape wants to be on this side. Okay. It's all about convincing it that it wants to be together. There we go. So we're kind of just pulling it back on itself. So we created the spine of the book. See? There we go. Again, we're going to run our tear and tape on here, or you can do it on the spine of the cardstock that you have, whatever is easiest. And make sure that you have a lot of adhesive on here so that the pages stay together. Okay, so I'm just going to peel that off, and then I'm going to put another row on. Okay, there we go. There is a lot of adhesive. This is tear and tape, I find, is very strong. So this works well for 3D projects. Oop, I almost left my fingers there. We're going to take the spine of the pages that we created, and we're going to glue them on right in the middle. Oops, I'm a little off. Okay, let's try and get this again. Careful. There we go. Here. So you can see that I have it on this side and this side. Okay, so when I hold the book closed, there, the pages are on the inside. Okay, there we go. If you want, you can always add some, if you have washi tape, or you can add some ribbon to hide this if you would like. I might do that a little later to see how my book goes together. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to go push these back and forth. So we have the inside of our pages. Now you're wondering why we have these little flaps here, the ones that we had glued together. Now the idea for that was I was going to take one of these flaps, actually, okay, and I was going to take this. You can either do it at 6 inches or even less than that, and you can glue another page on there. Okay, so I have the 12 by 6 folded in half. Now it's going to stand out a little bit. Okay, if you put it in, it's going to be longer. So you can either cut this down, and what I want to do is I'm going to actually make this much shorter. And I'm going to cut this down to, I don't know, say 3.5. I'm going to add some tape on the inside. So I'm going to tape it together on each side, and I'm going to tape that to the flap. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to tape that to the flap and over on the other side. So you'll see now it's much shorter, and that's what I wanted. Okay, so you got it, and you're going to replace that, do that for all of those little flaps that are sticking out. Okay, so I know that this is 6 by 12. I'm actually going to cut it down to 6 by 6, fold it in half, add my tape. I'm going to tape it closed too. So one tape on one side. Oops, got so excited, ran off the page. And onto the tab. And next page, 6 by 6, there we go. Fold it in half. Okay. Add my adhesive, glue it closed, and along the spine. Now, the idea behind this book, what you're going to do is when it's done, you're going to take this for Christmas, and when you are with your family, you're going to give them each some pieces of 4 by 6 or 4 by 5, whatever fits in here, pieces of basic white. Okay, so if I take a piece, so you'll see it's going to fit in there, whatever size you want. You're going to hand a piece of this white paper to each family member with a pen, and you're going to have them write. You're going to ask them to all write, 1, their favorite Christmas memory, 2, their hopes and dreams for the future, and number 3, something that they appreciate or give thanks for. And what you're going to do is they're going to hand it back to you, and you're going to place it in this book. You can also add pictures if you like, but that's the idea, is you're going to have these in here. You can have small little notes here if you want. You just cut down your pieces of basic white and you add it in. You can write your comments or your thoughts, but each person kind of gets a page or a piece of paper that they add in. Now that's the idea of the book. So what we're going to do is now just decorate the outside. Okay, so we had the piece of 6 by 12. Okay, so I'm going to have a nice frame around, so I know that this, so I'm going to cut this actually down to 6 by 6. Now, when you close your book, you'll see that this is much wider, because what we're going to do is, where is it? I was playing with it earlier. We're going to hole punch here, wrap a ribbon so it stays closed. Okay, so does that all make sense? So I'm going to check this out. Okay, I need to take a little bit more down, and I'm going to do that for each side. So you're just going to work your way down to the size that you want. So that fits. To me, that looks great. I love it. I think it's going to look really nice. I love the color of that. And we're going to add that around, and I'm out of adhesive. There we go. We're going to decorate the outside, flip it to the back. Again, got my piece that's properly cut. Remember the spine where we placed it together? That's the back of the book. Okay, add our adhesive. Okay, on the book. All right, got that, looking great. Now, you totally decorate this any way you want. Add some sentiments, add some embellishments, add some die cuts and stuff. That, you make it all yourself. I'm going to hole punch it on one side. I'm going to hole punch it on the other side. Okay. I'm going to grab my ribbon, whatever ribbon you have. So I'm going to have a nice long piece. Now, we're not quite done the inside. I just kind of wanted to show you what the outside is going to be like. I'm going to feed this through. Okay. And feed it through the front. Now, it's just a basic ribbon tying the two pieces together. That's all it is. Okay. so it will tie. It's not attached to anything, so if you lose your ribbon or your cat steals it, that's what's going to happen. So that is basically the outside. Make sure you decorate with sentiments and everything like that for the outside. Now let's go back to the inside of the book. And we had our leftover pieces of cardstock. What are we going to do with that? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so we're going to open this up again. Okay, don't lose your ribbon. Oop. Here we go. I'm just going to pull this out. Now, when we look inside, these pieces are all not glued down, and you're saying, well, what's going on here? What we're going to do, you have the option. It is totally up to you. What you can do is create little pockets. By saying that, what you would do is, this works much easier with tear and tape, is you're going to glue the bottom, okay? So you're going to glue the bottom of this together if you want to make a pocket. So what's going to happen is, in here you can, let's cut this down, okay? If you glue a pocket, you can slide in something like that, a piece of cardstock, decorate it, and have little more notes on that or pictures. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to be making pockets with this. So I'm going to take my tear and tape. Now you could have done this from the beginning if you wanted to, but I found that I wasn't really sure if I wanted pockets or not. And I found the tear and tape worked fairly easily. So you take your piece of tear and tape, okay, and you just run it along the bottom, okay. Try and stay as close to the edge as possible, okay. This is why tear and tape works really well for this, because I can get in there and just pull it out. So I'm taking the top of the tear and tape off. I'm pressing these two pages together. Okay, so now it's kind of making that little edge. Now I can also do that with the tear and tape. I'm going to actually secure these pieces to the back so it actually makes more of a full pocket. Okay, so let's do that. Find our tear and tape. Where's the end? I'm going to take a piece, run it down the edge on the first one. So you can see it right there. I've run it down the first one. You can do it all the way down if you like. And I'm going to do that on the other side too. Oh, end of that. Turn it. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's get that piece down. I'm going to kind of work it in onto the edge. I'm going to make my little pocket. So you can see there they are right there. Okay, I'm going to peel those off. Actually, I'm going to peel this side off first. All right, I made the first pocket. Press that together. And I have that pocket there. If you don't want a pocket, just seal it right up. It's totally up to you. Now I can take my little piece of cardstock and slip it in. Okay, we can decorate this, but it's totally up to you if you want to do that. If you don't want a pocket, that's okay. Just glue it all up. Add some glue dots, or adhesive in between. So I'm gonna make a pocket on this front one, tucking it under, removing the backing. And remember, I had that other piece right here along the spine. I'm going to take that off. And do that too. And press it together. Just be careful. Watch where you're going. Don't get too wonky. There we go. Now these, see, these ones are now, they don't come apart. like, remember how it expanded before? Again, I'm going to add the adhesive to the bottom for each one. Kind of roughly measure. Okay. Make sure it's straight. You know what? You can also do this with dimensionals if you want to add a little bit more space. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Wasn't sure if this is, you should see that my terrible handwritten notes on this when I was making this. Okay, so there we go. Got one more piece flap to place together. So hopefully I'm making enough sense that you're able to make a book. I'd really love to see if you are able to make this book and what yours looks like. Everybody has a different idea and how it all goes together. So, oops, this Tear and Tape. Okay. I love books. I love little notebooks and smash books and stuff like that. So I'm very excited whenever I can make them. So there we go. So we have all the little pockets made. Again, I got my leftover cardstock. I'm going to be making my tags. When you make your tags, make sure they are a little taller than this piece here, than the pocket that's in it, that it's in, so that when you do the tag top with, and you're going to add some ribbon to these so people know to pull them out, that they can see them. Okay, so that they stick out. Now these two, I've got longer ones, they're thinner ones. I'll stick them in too. Okay. Don't forget to have some pieces of paper, right, so that people can write on here. So we want some of those also. Now, if you don't like the look of the spine here, let's get some ribbon, okay? And we can always hide that. So we can get our ribbon like this, okay? I'm going to just kind of run it down and around on the outside. Measure like that, okay? And all I'm going to do, I'm going to add some liquid glue to there. Let's see if I got some in here. There we go. Don't put too much on. You don't want it too much sticking out of the ribbon. And I'm going to kind of place it across. Now I'm going to have to let that dry. Okay. Here we go. Let that dry. Yeah, I'll just close it up. Run it along the outside. If you want Tear and Tape, let's Tear and Tape that down onto the spine. There we go. Tear and Tape our ribbon down onto the spine. Oops, I'm missing some. I've lost my marbles. Okay, there we go. I'm going to run this up so it sits nice and along the spine. Oh, that turned out really well. That was not planned. And I'm going to just make a little tie on the top. There we go. You can add some little dangly things if you want. So you could do it to the front. Oops. Maybe Tear and Tape would have been better on the inside. But it will happen. I can also cover it with DSP if I want. Like take a little strip and just cover it back and forth. That side turned out pretty good. There we go. There we go. I think I'm going to cover that with a little bit of DSP. You know, sometimes that happens. You'll get working on something and you'll find that you have to do a little bit of improvising. I'm going to improvise with this one. Yeah, I think that works. Or that one. I'm not sure. Where'd the pine cone one go? Oh, I can improvise with this one. You know what? Sometimes things don't always work out, but that's okay. That is totally okay. So for me, this little ribbon didn't quite sit properly. That's fine. Let's see how I can get that fixed. There we go. I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Fold it in half. Okay. Okay. I will add a little bit of adhesive. You know, that's what happens. Everything can be fixed. There we go. Place that on one side. Okay. And then I'm going to place it on the other. Oops. There we go. Hey, look, it worked. Hey, it turned out pretty good. I'm going to do that. Should do that for the other side. Okay. Oh, just have to burnish that down a little bit. There we go. All right. So basically, that gives you your book there. Don't panic. Don't panic. You know what? It all turns out. Okay. So there's our little pieces together. You know what? You could figure out how to design or decorate your tags. Stamp some holes, punch some holes up there, and add some ribbon. Okay. Add some pieces of white. Don't forget to take it and give it those pieces of white so that you can add to this, so everybody can add their memories. So I'm just going to add this ribbon so you can get an idea of what the final piece looks like. There we go. Oh, come on. So I know it's not a card, and I know it's not a package, but hopefully it is a good memory for you to have for this Christmas holiday season. So there we go. I think that's going to turn out great. I'm going to continue on decorating my tags and everything, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'd love to see what your book looks like when it's done, and I'll decorate it. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. Thank you so much for joining me all this year. It really means a lot. Your support and your encouragement, I really appreciate it. I'm going to finish decorating, and I will see you next time on Tuesday. Well, we're going to make something else for New Year's Day. All right. Take care and have a fabulous, fabulous Christmas. Take care.